I figured we'd go ahead and get our April/May wrap-up started. The reason why I didn't post April's monthly wrap-up by itself is because of the fact that it was short. It was only 3 books. I didn't really read that much, so I wanted to just wait, put it together with May. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started with April real quick, and then we'll go into May's. So starting out with April, I read Wild at Heart, and then I read Forever Wild by K.A. Tucker, all in the same series, in the Wild series, which is book 2, and then the third book, which is a novella. So I gave those 2. I gave Wild at Heart 3.5, and I also gave Forever Wild 3.5. So overall, the series was a little bit of a flop for me. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought it would. I felt it was very overhyped. I thought I was going to like it more than I actually did. I've seen so many people love that series. I don't know if I'm going to come back for the last book. I will probably try to get it over with. However, those 2 books I did not particularly enjoy. I felt like I was dreading going through the second book, and I felt like I was dreading going through the small novella, even that it was small. It was like 100 pages, a little bit more, a little bit less, maybe, if that. So again, as I said, I'm not sure I'll complete the series. It kind of was a letdown because I felt like everybody said positive things about it, and I just did not see how it was perceived that way. I thought the first book was fine. However, I just could not get into the second and third book. Next up, I read Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. This was a reread. The first time I read it through, I did not like it. It made me feel very depressed, being in Edward's point of view. This is basically Twilight in Edward's point of view, the entire book. It does have new scenes included, but overall it just goes over everything that happened in Twilight, but in Edward's point of view. Let's disregard this cover. I absolutely hate it, but I mean, it's the book, so I should have gotten the actual cover and not the movie cover, but you know what, whatever. Yeah, but for Midnight Sun, I gave it 3.8 stars this time. Since I reread it, I actually liked it more. I did go through Edward's point of view, and I did analyze him a little bit this time, so I think this is what made it more interesting, because I was actually analyzing him instead of worrying about why does he act like this. He's acting a little off. But I actually did finish it in a quicker amount of time than I did the first time. So I'm very proud of myself for getting through this. Okay, next up I read Twilight. I reread the entire series actually, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go over it. If you don't know what this book is, I suggest reading the books. However, the films are kind of horrid. I mean, they're good, but they're not good. For the series, we have a love-hate relationship, all of us. So here we are. Again, I gave Twilight also a 3.8. And then the next book in the series is New Moon, which is book 2. I'm not going to give any details because I feel like too many people already know the premise. But yeah, for New Moon, I gave it 3 stars. This is my least favorite book in the series. I'm sorry, I have to say that. How is Bella so boring without Edward? Come on. Are you kidding? Yeah, anyways. Then I read Forever Wild, and then we're moving on to November 9th by Colleen Hoover. This was also a reread. I read it again. This is a 3.5 for me. I thought I would like it after a year of not reading it. However, I did not. Ben still seems very plain to me. This whole story feels plain. And the whole falling in love with your arsonist thing, spoiler, no thank you. I would like to throw Ben and Kessler in the trash. Things We Never Got Over, 4.2 stars I gave it. I thought it was cute. I don't know if I liked it though. It's very small town, very country. It was cute, but I also feel like it didn't have enough, I didn't feel emotionally connected to the characters. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown, and I'll probably give you another quick rundown of this, because I realized I didn't give it to you. So, quick rundown for Things We Never Got Over. Naomi comes to Knockamout, Virginia, trying to find her sister. What's her name? I don't remember the sister's name. It starts with a T. Tina. She comes to Knockamout, Virginia, trying to find her sister, because her sister hey, Naomi, I need help. However, when she got to Knockamout, her sister already left. So Tina, which was the estranged sister, left her daughter to Naomi because she knew she wouldn't just leave her. And she left a shitty apartment for her and literally nothing. Okay, so now I'm realizing that I didn't make Tina sound as worse as she actually is. She is a horrible mother. I do not like her. She stole Naomi's car. She dipped out. She left her child with nowhere to go, but she knew her sister would take care of her, so she left her with no food, no clothes, nothing. She did kidnap her daughter at the end, spoiler alert, and she did come in through a little bit. However, she left again immediately after, so no, Tina is just a shitty mother. She doesn't deserve her daughter, and that's about it. So Naomi is left with taking care of an 11-year-old and basically trying to figure out her life there in Knockamout, Virginia, because she is actually a runaway bride. And then she meets Knox, who is a bartender / barber, and he has a lot of little houses. He owns a lot of buildings in Knockamout. So basically they figure out a best friends with benefits relationship because they have not had romantic stuff for long. So they haven't had any sort of physical touch, romantic anything besides Naomi's ex-husband or ex-fiance, my bad. They weren't actually married when she took off. So yeah, moving on to November 9th, this is a story about Fallon and Ben. I want to say 10 years in the past, Fallon gets involved. She is at her father's house, and then she gets involved in a house fire. Nobody knows what happened. She has scars over the entirety of her body on this side, and basically she is so insecure. Every time she meets people, she kind of just stays down, keeps her head down. And then she meets Benton Kessler during a argument with her father at a diner. He ends up pretending to be her boyfriend so her dad wouldn't fucking mess with her anymore. And eventually the dad just ups and leaves after he tells her that he's getting married again. And afterward, Benton and Fallon end up talking for a little bit. They end up finding out that they like each other and they want to spend the rest of the day together. However, they come up with the idea of coming back to where they met every single November 9th for 7 years, and they have a no communication. They have no sort of way to reach each other. They block each other on Instagram, on basically all social media, so they wouldn't be able to see each other, and they're not allowed to communicate, and they're not allowed to write each other. They can only see each other on November 9th, and that is basically the story, and they try to navigate the romantic relationship. Next up is Kristen Higgins' Pack Up the Moon. I gave this 5 stars. I did cry multiple times, and I did have it in a reading vlog where I read for 7 hours, so if you saw that video, you probably know I cried my eyes out. So this is the story of Joshua and Lauren. They're the perfect couple. They just got married, and they're absolutely in love, but it is absolutely wiping them out when they find Lauren has what was the illness name? It's a lung issue. It's a lung issue. What was it called? Pulmonary fibrosis. But it was a fast sort of pulmonary fibrosis. She did have issues with her lungs, and then she ended up passing away after a few years. And in this story, we go through Joshua's journey of him being alone for a year without his wife. It's very sad. I highly recommend it if you love crying your eyes out and you get sad over stuff like this. She ended up writing her husband Joshua like 12 letters in order to help him get over her death. So that's also involved. So it's basically going through a married couple, the wife dies, and then it's just his progress trying to fix himself. And then next up, I read Eclipse. Again, I gave this one 4 stars. I like this one better than the first, Midnight Sun and New Moon, the dreaded New Moon. I finished this quite fairly fast. It was like, I started on the 17th and ended on the 24th. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 days it took me to read this, so not too long at all. It was a good read. But obviously, Stephanie Meyer's work is not the best, so we just got to get over that. Sarah Adams' The Cheat Sheet I read next, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. This is a story of Bree Camden and Nathan Donaldson. Nathan Donaldson is a NFL player, and he does football, and he's professional, while Bree Camden owns her ballet studio. Bree Camden, it was in an accident like a few years prior to the plot of the book, and Nathan and her have been friends from college for many, many years in the future. But it turns out that they both like each other, they just don't know it yet. So Nathan is come to an agreement. They have to fake date after Bree ends up spilling her feelings about him to a TMZ reporter. So they kind of have to navigate that out. They end up having to hang out more, do commercials and stuff. And Bree is just like trying to keep her feelings guarded from him during this time because she doesn't actually want him to know she likes him. But Nathan Donaldson, being the man that he is, creates a cheat sheet to try to get Bree to fall in love with him. And it's so funny because here's the cheat sheet. And it has this whole list of things to do to try to get Bree to fall in love with him. But of course he doesn't know that she's already in love with him. So it's so cute. It's a cute little fluffy read. I definitely recommend it. It doesn't have a lot of plot. Nathan does have anxiety. Panic attacks. So it does have a little bit of that. I do think it was well shown. I do think it was well represented with panic attacks. I have a friend that gets panic attacks, so it hit close to home, I suppose. It was relatable. It was just a very cute, fluffy read. Nothing too dark, nothing too developmental. It's a good read, but I probably would only read it if I was in the mood for like a cute little thing. Now getting into the last two books, Vladimir Nabokov's The Original of Laura. Basically in 1977, Vladimir Nabokov died. This is Vladimir Nabokov. And he had a manuscript written out for a story, written on multiple note cards. You'll see them right here. And basically, when he died in 1977, he told his wife to burn these note cards because he didn't want it being published after he died. However, his wife could not take care of it on her own. She didn't know what to do. So when she passed away, the index cards were passed on to their son, Dmitri, and he ended up not knowing what to do with them either. He waited a couple years, and then finally this book was published in order to share the note cards and what was involved of the story so far. So it is a true story, and basically it just goes through the story of Vladimir Nabokov's legacy. And then last but not least, before we get into my current reads for this month, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I do see why people said he was toxic. However, I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. I cried during it. I cried because I could kind of connect with Miles Archer, because he had a tough time during relationships, which I do as well. And he also lost his son in a car accident, which also made him lose his wife because she kind of grew detached and she didn't know what to do. So he lost his wife, he lost his child, so he's just trying to navigate through all this. And I could connect with that because I don't have a relationship with my father. Obviously, I didn't lose him. He's not dead, but and I'm not dead either. We're still alive. But yeah, we don't have good communications. He's an asshole. So I could definitely connect with Miles on that sort of extent. But I could also see why people think he's toxic with the whole saying his ex-girlfriend's name in the bed with another girl. Well, he had a friends with benefits relationship because of the fact that he just wanted to get rid of his sexual urges to hopefully finish it off. Because at the point of time, him and Tate, they did not have any sort of romantic relationship. However, she just did it for fun, really. She found him attractive, so she said, why not? So they started friends with benefits relationship. And so the two slowly gained feelings for one another, but of course, Miles being Miles, he doesn't let himself be in that relationship because he doesn't want something bad to happen and he's going to be upset again. I would also like to add to the fact that I did also see why he was toxic in the sense that he did give mixed signals when he said he didn't want a relationship. But then when he would do nice stuff for Tate, he would kind of do that and then he would close himself off completely. So it was definitely mixed signals and he should not have done that. He made it straight out from the start that he did not want a relationship, but then he kind of just led her on. So he stays away from relationships, and then basically he ends up fucking it up, and basically Tate's like, listen, this went too far, we need to stop this, and then she moves away. So yeah. I did cry during this, so I did give it 5 stars because whenever I cry during something, it's I don't usually cry during books, so it was very funny having me cry to this when so many people don't like this book, because of Miles and how toxic he is. But yeah. If you do decide to read this, I do suggest looking at the trigger warnings, because there's a lot of weird shit that goes on in this book, I suppose. But yeah, I gave this one 5 stars, and oh yeah, I gave the originals of Laura 3 stars because it wasn't really touchy. And of course, it's a man that wrote this, so there was some comments about females, and there was a lot of sex involved. So my current reads are Breaking Dawn, which I am about almost done with. I just need to finish about like 200 pages. Yeah, and The Love Hypothesis I'm rereading again. I wanted to see if I have a different opinion about this than the first time I read it. However, I'm not feeling sort of indifferent to it. I'm feeling sort of indifferent to it, so I might not like it as much as I want to. Definitely overhyped. Still good. However, I'm gonna reread it again. I am on page 112. And on Breaking Dawn, I'm on page 525, chapter 27. And Breaking Dawn has 754 pages, and then that's the end of the series. Those are all the books I read during the months of April and May. So if you guys have any questions, this was the whole pile right here. So if you guys read any of the books, let me know. Maybe we could talk about them. I love chatting about books. I really do. If you guys read any of these, let me know. If you have any sorts of book suggestions, also let me know. I love branching out. I've started branching out recently with like the originals of Laura and the Pack Up the Moon, because I don't normally read like sad books like that with Pack Up the Moon. But I saw everybody crying on TikTok, so I wanted to try it. Like the first, I had to get used to the book because I wasn't used to it. It was in third person. I don't normally read third person, which is why this is maybe not connecting with me. However, it was still a good read, and I cried, and it was very good. So overall, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys soon. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any book suggestions, let me know. I will be very happy to read them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye!